Hello, folks. It's the middle of the afternoon here on today, and I just took off this morning at actually woke up about 2:30. Couldn't get back to sleep because there was some wind that came up and it was slapping waves against the bow. And I was anxious about today in terms of what the weather was going to be. And especially then when the wind was up in the middle of the night already, I was hoping it would stay calm until I was able to move in the morning. I had planned to move at first light, so having wind come up in the middle of the night was a little bit alarming. So I wasn't sure if I was going to go or not. I finally decided I couldn't get back to sleep, so I got up at 3:30 and went through my normal morning routine, made coffee and did my study, and then I made breakfast afterwards. Then I took off just really after first light and headed up this way. Came about just shy of 15 miles this morning, and the wind actually turned out to be okay. I thought I might run into some bigger waves, but that was not the case. And I kind of had planned it. It was a northwest wind, so I figured if I stayed along the shore, there wouldn't be a chance for the waves to build up much, and that was the case. So I got in here, I think it was about 8:30 or so in the morning, so I really arrived pretty early. And as a consequence, the weather is cloudy and there's not much to do outside. It's cool. So I just listened to my audiobooks this morning. Decided to go ahead and make some muffins this afternoon, or actually coffee cake. I put them in muffin form, but it's actually coffee cake. And some coffee, and enjoyed that. And then finished my audiobook just a few minutes ago here, so I got to start up a new one here shortly. I checked out, I think, 3 audiobooks for this trip. I've gone through 2 of them, and I think the other one expires here in about 3 days, so I'm going to have to get through that one pretty quick too. So anyway, I'm just hanging out this afternoon. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere. The weather's still a little bit not very pleasant. It's actually warmed up a bit, but it's cloudy, kind of dreary out. But it's supposed to get better tomorrow, so I think I'll paddle down. There's a small channel here behind me, and I'll go down that way with the kayak. I think tomorrow I can walk over to a lake from there and maybe even take the kayak over and paddle around on that smaller inland lake. But we'll see what the weather holds for tomorrow. But I am going to probably lay over tomorrow. I'm within staging distance now of getting back to Red Rock. What happens over the next couple of days is going to be real dependent on the wind and the direction of the wind and when I should move. I have one more step about 6-7 miles up the channel here, the Nipigon Straits, to get into the last position to launch into Red Rock. And I may do that not tomorrow, but the day after. Or I could just continue on if the weather is conducive to doing so that day. If it looks like the weather on Monday is going to be bad, especially a contrary wind or some kind, or stronger wind, then I might move a day early and go up to Red Rock, stay in the marina there for a night. Those are some of the thoughts that are going through my head. Tonight I'm going to have some grilled chicken, salad, potatoes, and some white wine probably to go with the chicken. Just relax, listen to another audiobook, maybe read. I've got, I think I already showed you, I'm going through the 3-book series by Grey Wolf, I should say Grey Owl. And I'm reading the first one, The Men of the Last Frontier. I'm just about finished with that, so I'll probably do that today, finish that up, and then I think I'll save the other 2 for my next trip. We'll see how that goes too, but otherwise everything's holding up. I ran out of propane on my main tank, so that was the good part is now I know at least what my capacity is for that 30-gallon tank. It looks like, or 30-pound tank. It looks like I can get about 24 days, 25 at the most out of a 30-pound tank. At least I know now what my capacity is. I've got a 11-pounder backup, and I'm just hoping that that'll hold until I get back into Red Rock, because I don't know how much was left in that tank. I did use it for a couple of fires with my fire ring. I bring it along for my fire ring, but also as a backup in case I run out of the main tank. We'll see how that turns out. It's going to be close. And I think that about does it. And we'll talk to you soon. Hello, folks. It's about 7 in the evening. Just finished a grilled chicken dinner with mashed potatoes, salad, a roll, hot roll, and white wine. Before that, I've rigged up the shower out on the stern deck. Took a shower. First time I've used the shower on this trip. I've either jumped in the lake previously or used the sauna down on Sweet Island. So there's been some other opportunities. Didn't need to use a shower. Plus, it's been real windy. This is the first calm evening I've had for quite a while. So I was able to get a shower in, and that feels good to get on some clean clothes again. We're going to stay probably one more night here, layover tomorrow, and then we'll stage for our return into Red Rock the next day. And hopefully on the 1st, we'll get back into Red Rock if the weather permits. So far, it's still been cloudy all day, although my solar did work up to 100%, which I've been pleased with. The performance of my new 400-watt panels have been really good. I haven't had to worry about having enough power for the fridge and freezer on this trip. So I even brought an ice cream bar along to experiment. I will bring more in the future because that worked out well. So I'm pleased with the new solar arrangement. If you don't remember, I went from 240 watt portable panels. They consisted of two 120 watt panels that were portable, but they weren't, there just wasn't enough wattage. So I went to fixed panels of 400 watts with the provision that these panels can actually tilt in later parts of the year, like in September, late September, or early October. If I'm having trouble with getting enough sun, I can tilt the panels to maximize the angle. I haven't tested that yet because I haven't needed to. The May trip that I took out to Oahe and this trip up to Lake Superior, there's been plenty of sun, so it's not been an issue. We'll see in the fall. I've got one trip planned, at least I hope to do the trip in the fall. By the way, if I haven't told you, this flag right behind me is the Northwest Territories flag. Years ago, back in 1983, I took a 7-week trip around that lake with a small sailboat, 18.5-foot day sailor, really. It wasn't designed for that lake. I did some modification of it to make that work, but I had no motor, no VHF radio, no navigation of any sort other than a compass. No motor again, so that it had to rely completely on sail to get from A to B. There were a few cases where I had to paddle, and so sometimes you needed to use a paddle. I could paddle at about 1 knot per hour. That's the flag there. I was given that by an RCMP retired that we met up there for a rendezvous during that trip that I made. So for those that are wondering, that is a Northwest Territory flag. That was a gift to me. That'll be enough for this evening.